László Laufer. I'm a psychologist. I came from Budapest, Hungary, and I'm the lead user experience researcher in Prezi.com. I want to talk about Zoomable interfaces because I'm dealing with human-computer interaction, so I'm not a practicing psychologist, not doing any psychotherapy anymore. I used to do it, I enjoyed it a lot, but nowadays I only work with computers and people who interact with computers. So we all know Zoom from photography. We have our digital zooming cameras, and with the help of Zoom, we can zoom into a big picture and reveal a small detail. But Zoom as a tool of communication has been used centuries ago. Now, this is a painting of Peter Bruegel the Elder from the 16th century. It's titled Landscape with the Fall of Icarus. And we all know Icarus. He's the tragic mythological hero who wanted to reach the realms of gods, but flew too close to the sun and fell into the water. Now, the question is, where is Icarus? He's here, suffocating in the water. By zooming in, we didn't just find Icarus, but we also see another person there, a fisherman, doing his job, not paying any attention. And if we zoom out, we see peasants working on the lands, carelessly. So with the power of Zoom, Bruegel expresses the relation between Icarus and his contemporaries. Now I'm going to show you 3 examples from our everyday life where we use Zoom in our interaction with technology. This is the Clanky Atlas. It's one of the biggest books in the world, printed in the 17th century. And if we look at today's atlases, they are a lot different than the Clanky Atlas. They are extremely small. You can fit them into your pocket in the palm of your hand. And at the meantime, they can show you a lot more information than the Clanky Atlas does. You cannot just see towns and countries, but you can see streets, you can see houses, even you can see people in front of the houses. Now, how is it possible? With Zoom, you can reveal as much information on a tiny little surface as you want at the time. By zooming in and zooming out, you can see more information. Now, another example is computer games. This is Angry Birds, an extremely popular computer game. If you haven't played with it, go home and ask your kids for one and play with it for a while. It's really fun. And this game operates with 2 zoom levels. You shoot at houses and monkeys and pigs with birds. And you can zoom in and see the destruction you made. You can pan and try to find other targets. And then you can zoom out and continue the game. Now, you all know this. Probably you have a device with you right now. I can see it in your hands. And touch screens are based on Zoom. The whole operating system is based on Zoom. You open application with Zoom. And most applications use Zoom. For example, the browser. You can zoom in to take a look at a small detail of the web page, like an image. You can zoom out and pan and read the whole stuff if you zoom out. Now, in human-computer interaction, these applications are called ZUIs, Zoomable User Interfaces, and they have some commonalities between them. One thing is that they can all show a big picture, and by zooming in, you can see a small detail of the big picture. Because of this, there is no such thing as size, absolute size. There's only relative size. Even the most unimportant, tiny little piece of information can be as important after zooming into it. Now, another thing is that they don't use the metaphor of the finite sheet of paper, like a Word document. They don't have borders. They all create an infinite information space, and you can pan left and right, up and down in this space. You can discover this space. Now, another thing is that they don't overvalue with information. With Zoom, like the Kankli Atlas versus Google Maps, you can see as much information at the time as you need. So these are the common things in ZUIs, but why are they good? What do you use them for? In the examples, we could see that they all create a spatial structure. And with the spatial structure, they all maintain the context of the information. By zooming in and out, the viewer will continuously maintain the context of the information. He or she won't get lost. Now, I'm going to show you two examples from learning methodology where context plays a key role in understanding and remembering. This is the PQRST method, a very commonly used learning methodology. What you do when you want to remember a chapter in a book, at first you read through, but you only read the bold text, you only read the titles, you only read the conclusion. You create the structure first, then you pose a question what the chapter is going to be about, then you read, then you recite, and then you test your knowledge. But the very basis of this whole method is to create the structure first, zoom out, then read the details, then read the dates, then read the names, then learn them, and then fit them into the structure. Now, this other method is very useful if you have to learn unstructured information. Let's say a shopping list. It's called the method of Loki. It has been used by the ancient Greeks and still being used by the world memory champions of our times. What you do in the method of Loki is that you imagine a space that you're familiar with. Let's say your living room. Then you create a path in this space, a passage. It's also called actually mental walkthrough, the method. Then you take the items you have to remember and you put them along your path. You associate them with the different locations in this mental space. So you have a list of unstructured items, unrelated items, but you create a structure for them. You create a context. And this context that you're familiar with is going to help you to recall the information when you're in the shop, think hopeless, what do you have to buy? You forgot it again. So I wanted to show you that zoomable interfaces are not only about the visual effect of Zoom, but they are about creating a spatial context, a spatial structure. Let me show you three areas where I think that Zooms can be used in the future. One of them is education, obviously. Now, this is an app released by Apple a few weeks ago. It's called iBooks 2, and you can create Zoomable workbooks with it for students. Prezi also has a huge educational community, and I'm sure there will be lots of Zoomable educational apps in the future. Another field is the web. We created this website for the World Economic Forum, and the overview acts like a table of contents as an opening page. And if you click on a link, instead of clicking on a link, you zoom in and read the page. And you can zoom in more and read further on, like clicking on a link. And then you can go back to the opening page by zooming out. You can start a new link, read through, pan down, zoom out, back to the starting page. Now, another application area is live logging. You upload an immense amount of information to the web. You like links, you upload photos about you and your friends, etc. And this information is totally unstructured. Now, Facebook recently, a few months ago, introduced Timeline, which gives a sort of structure to this information, but this is only a linear structure. And there are occasions, let's say you apply for a job, where you need to structure this information. You want to make sure that your future boss doesn't know your political views, which political articles you liked and you disliked and commented on. And you want to make sure he doesn't see your party photos neither. Right now, it's impossible to do. I think that social networks, live logging, is carving for Zoomable data visualization. So today, I wanted to talk to you about Zoom. But I wanted to zoom out a bit and show you Zoom in context. In context of our everyday life, in context of learning, in context of understanding, and in context of sharing ideas with people like you.